Japan Journal, the internet's #1 English language weekly online cybercast from Japan. Japan Journal with M.A.L. Adams.
And a very pleasant good evening to you, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Japan Journal. I'm your host, M.A.L. Adams, here, coming to you live from beautiful downtown Kakegawa City, Shizuoka Prefecture, Japan, on the internet's #1 English language weekly online cybercast from Japan, Japan Journal, with yours truly, M.A.L. Adams. Got a great show coming up for you tonight. It is yet and still a work in progress, this broadcast, coming to you streaming live on all the major, what are we calling these things, the social media platforms, as it were, YouTube, Twitter, of course, here on Facebook, and a couple of others. And the idea is to bring you regular weekly broadcasts from Japan like we used to do back in the day. And so it's a lot more casual because Brother Mal's in his Samway right here. You don't see me in a necktie and a suit. And I'm just kicking it to you, sharing the tidbits and snidbits from the days of our lives here in Japan. Over 4 decades, baby. Got a lot of content that you will see nowhere else, exclusively coming to you here on Japan Journal. So without any further ado, let's get this party started right now. We're talking about Obon. Obon is a Japanese Buddhist custom to honor the spirits of one's ancestors. Now, this Buddhist Confucian system or custom has evolved into a family reunion holiday during which people return to their ancestral family places and visit and clean their ancestors' graves, and when the spirits of ancestors are believed to revisit the household altars. It's been celebrated in Japan for more than 500 years and traditionally includes a dance known as Bon Odori. Now, this year I was invited to participate in Obon festivities at the remote mountain resort in Aichi Prefecture, the prefecture adjacent to where I'm living now in Shizuoka Prefecture, which is in the middle of the Japanese archipelago, much like my home state of Nebraska is to the United States of America. So in the mountains of Aichi Prefecture, a resort known as Minshuku Ryokan Kawai. Kawai is the family name of this Minshuku, which is a traditional Japanese accommodation, and the Ryokan is a traditional Japanese hotel. Tatami mats, traditional food, the whole thing usually situated in beautiful natural surroundings of the mountains with onsen or natural hot spring water and the whole works. You'll see a slideshow depicting the beautiful scenes and sights associated with this piece. So Chieko Kawai, a good friend, and her brother Shinji were our excellent hosts at their outstanding family establishment, which is ranked #1 in the region for the past 7 years by the Japan travel industry. It certainly lived up to its reputation and beyond, in my estimation. The annual gathering of friends and family is a 2-day special tradition of food, drinks, rest, and relaxation, to which I was a first-time guest. I've been to many before, but nothing like this one, so it just gets greater later in this Japan adventure that I've been on for more than 40 years. I brought my shakuhachi. It's a bamboo flute. I brought that to add a bit of musical flavor to the occasion, which is appropriate for this kind of a Zen Buddhist religious custom, appreciation, respect for the ancestors. That's what it's all about. Similar to our Memorial Day back in the United States. Now, other people brought guitars and sang songs and participated in yoga exercise sessions, and we all sang karaoke at the end of the day, stayed overnight. The typhoon was in the midst and hit us, but not severely. Great rain squalls and high winds, but it was cool and added to the environment for a great late night rest. Now, it was my best Obon experience in more than 40 years of my Japan adventure, as I mentioned. I certainly was decked out in my latest Samway, similar to what I'm wearing right now. That is a Buddhist monk traditional attire. And the ladies, of course, wore lovely yukata, or a kind of light cotton kimono for the hot summer days. And it was on and popping, man, I got to tell you. And during the festival, families traditionally sent their ancestors' spirits back to the permanent dwelling place under the guidance of fire in a ritual known as okuribi, meaning sending fire. And fire also marks the commencement or mukaebi, as well as the closing of the festival. So, here now, without any further ado, is my special slideshow video coverage of the festival, which I posted a few days ago, shortly after the event. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may have not, but it is going to be our main cross-cultural feature here on Japan Journal, the internet's #1 English language online cybercast from Japan, with yours truly, Brother M.A.L here, coming to you. So I asked my director to give it to me. Drop that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Check this out, y'all. All right, everybody, what you think about that? Wasn't that beautiful? Weren't the surroundings lovely? And the people look good. Everybody decked out in their kimonos and their samways. Brother Mal on shakuhachi teaching the young Japanese how to play that flute. You know, they're amazed at me because Japanese, most of them cannot get a sound out of that thing. You not only blow lightly, what we do it when we used to blow in Coca-Cola bottles and beer bottles, you get kind of thing like that. You just blow softly with a string, but the vibrato and the changing in pitch is done with the. I wish I had my piece here with me. I could show you. It's the kubi is the neck. Kubi furi sannen kakarimasu kara. In English, that means the vibration of the neck. The neck movement takes 3 years to master. But in my case, Kubi Furi Jusanen. In other words, it took me 13 years to master how to shake that thing. But it goes a little something. Yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. So the background music on that piece was not my playing of the shakuhachi, but the shakuhachi has that same tone. That was a shakuhachi composed by three different shakuhachi players here in Japan. And I appropriated that background music to accommodate these visuals, and I thought it was rather fitting, don't you? All right. We're going to move right along here, and let's get into the second segment of this show, because we don't have a lot of time. Hell, it's about 4, going on 5 o'clock in the morning here, and I need to get my rest because I got a big day tomorrow. But here's to y'all. I will go so far as to wet my whistle with some beautiful red wine from Yamanashi Prefecture. Pardon me. Ooh. Wow, gets no better. You know, I'm a Robert Mondavi fan, red wine from Napa Valley in California, but that's number 2 to this here. Boy, you don't even know what you're missing. If you like red wine, this is the joint. All right. Moving right along, as promised, I have got a little feature here. I am helping my brother from Omaha, Nebraska, Richie Love. If you don't know, now you know. A virtuoso saxophonist, composer, producer, multi-instrumentalist. He's got a new joint coming out called New Horizons. And we're working together to build him an audience here in Japan. And so I will be frequenting his product little by little from the new CD. And he's a homeboy of mine from Omaha, Nebraska, man. And we've been working to get him on this broadcast. He's a busy guy. And we had some technical difficulties getting his live appearance through Skype. So we're going to work that out. But in lieu of his physical presence here live by streaming video, we will present his music. And man, you are going to love this. It's my privilege and honor to present his new promotional video for the album, which has been dropped. And man, I tell you, it's music whose time has come because it's grown folks jazz. And man, y'all are going to love this, trust me. I'm going to drop it on the Japanese right now, right here, for the first time. But in case you don't know, let me tell you about Richie Love. Give you a little bit about his biography, his profile, and his discography. Richie Love, a.k.a. the sexiest man alive, is a gifted saxophonist, vocalist, and innovative virtuoso musical artist. At a very early age, he was nurtured deeply in the genres of and the roots of jazz, blues, rhythm and blues, and funk. And Richie plays all saxophones. He is a composer, a producer, an arranger, vocalist, band leader, teacher, and mentor, and CEO of Sax World Productions since 1985, established in Los Angeles. His first record release was in 1987. Richie started playing alto sax at the age of 6. Did you hear me? At the age of 6. I'll tell you why in a minute. He couldn't avoid it. His daddy was a great, historical, legendary jazz musician. And Richie started at the age of 6 and has performed recorded and studied with some of the greats, Johnny Otis, Buddy Miles, also a homeboy of ours from Omaha, Nebraska, Norman Connors, Shuggie Otis, Andre Lewis, known as Mondre, the wife of whom is Maxanne. Y'all know who Maxanne is. She lived in Japan for a lot of years and is now rolling with Bobby Watson and some of our family from Japan in Los Angeles, tearing it up. Shout out to Maxanne. Andre Lewis grew up with us in the near north side of Omaha, Nebraska. And of course, it would be natural for Richie to perform with him. The other home lady of ours, Lalomi Washburn, Barbara Morrison, Ricky Minor, and Lester Abrams, who you may have heard of. You may know his music more than you know his name. Minute by Minute, yeah. Was that the Doobie Brothers? I believe so. Yeah, got a Grammy for that. Our homeboy from Omaha, Nebraska. Now, that's just to name a few of the artists that Richie has performed with coming up. Now, Richie's been in and around the music business all of his life. He's performed on thousands of concerts, recordings, TV, radio, CDs, music festivals, and venues. His band, The Love Connection, has been rocking audiences for over 25 years from coast to coast in the United States and around the world, actually. They've performed on countless jazz, R&B, blues, music festivals, and have headlined with the likes of Hank Crawford, Les McCann, Buddy Miles, Wayman Tisdale, Preston Love Sr., his dad, and many, many more. Richie was family mentored, as I mentioned, and naturally influenced by the music of his late and great world-renowned father, Preston Love Sr. Like an uncle to me, he was a mentor to me coming up early in the broadcast business. Very famous, one of the most famous Omahans in modern history, Preston Love Sr. And Preston was also a purveyor and a historian of classical jazz and blues. He performed with the historical legends such as Count Basie, Billie Holiday, and Aretha Franklin and Marvin Gaye, to name but a few. And in the 60s, he became Motown's first West Coast orchestra leader contractor. Now, how could you not love a dad like that if you want to play music? It was natural. They came up in the house playing music. You know, brother Norman as well, Richie, and big brother Preston Jr., a scholar and an athlete, and sister Portia. A creative, incredible family friends of ours, and like family to me, that's my brother from a different mother in Omaha, Nebraska, Richie Love. So Richie and the Love Connection, featuring special guest Tammy Tyree, recently performed in Omaha, Nebraska for the Omaha Days celebration. Every 2 years we go back and all the Omaha people in the diaspora gather there for fun and festivities. And Richie and featuring Tammy Tyree did a celebration to announce and commemorate the dropping of New Horizons, his brand new CD project, which we're promoting here. So you don't want to miss an opportunity if you ever get a chance to see Richie Love and the Love Connection. And I'm going to give you a little tidbit right now of what it is. Yeah, you thought you were going to get away without hearing a slice? Let me show you his new CD promotional joint right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to give you my homeboy and my brother, Richie Love. Check it out. New Horizons coming at you, baby. Check it out. Yeah, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The new joint from Richie Love. New Horizons, y'all. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Wasn't that beautiful? Smooth, sexy tones coming out of that horn, man. The boy's a genius, I tell you. He got it straight off the block, though, because his daddy is a monster and a legendary musician in the history of Omaha, Nebraska, and all the Midwest territorial musicians that brought jazz straight out of Kansas City with Count Basie. His daddy was a young saxophonist in that band, man, and someone I grew to love and admire. A little bit older than me. I'm a little bit older than Richie, but he's like an uncle to me, man. He was family, and early in my TV career, he was there to mentor me and support my career. So hats off to Richie Love and his new project, y'all. I'll be coming up with him live in a few days, yo. We're going to get it right and bring it to him so you can hear it from the man's mouth himself. We got other tunes here, but let's move on here. I want to get in this special interview with a young gentleman that I met at the Obon festivities. And let me say that again. Listen and repeat after me. Festivities. At the Obon festivities in the mountains above Aichi Prefecture. You saw the video slideshow of that, and the brother that was in there is a native of Ghana on the west coast of Africa. And man, he taught me more than I knew. In a brief 20-minute interview, we exchanged some culture, some history, and what can I tell you about this guy? He's an accomplished accountant. He's a young man. He's been in Japan over 10 years. And I had known him 10 years before in the neighboring city to Kakegawa called Hamamatsu. And he was acquainted with the host of the event, and we reacquainted ourselves. And I could not let him get away without letting him share some of his knowledge and some of the background and history of his family in Ghana, and how all of us black folks in the diaspora come together as one, because we know from whence we came, y'all. And in case you don't know, you're getting ready to know right here. So allow me to present to you Jerry Agyemang. Jerry Agyemang from Ghana, a good friend of mine and a future business partner, without a doubt. Check out his interview, ladies and gentlemen. I think you're going to learn something. Mr. Director, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, give it to me.
So give me the story, Jerry. What's your last name again?
Agyemang.
How do you spell that?
Agyemang is Agyemang. Agyemang.
Sounds like Ghanaian.
Very Ghanaian. It's a royal name, as a matter of fact. I'm Ashanti, belong to the Ashanti tribe. We are very proud people. We the largest ethnic group in Ghana. We were the only tribe, I would say, in sub-Saharan Africa, probably one out of 3 tribes that were able to face up to the British, to the imperialists, to the colonizers many years ago. We were able to fight them on 3 different occasions, and we are very strong people. That's the name. Agyemang means nation saver.
Okay.
And so
I'm going to ask you one more time so I can get it in my head. Agyemang, A-G-E.
G for Germany, Y-E-M-A-N, for Germany.
Y-E-M-E-N.
M-A-N, G. And so, yes. So.
And the pronunciation slowly.
Agyemang.
So, how popular is that name in Ghana?
It's a very popular name. I mean, once you mention the name, everybody knows exactly which part of the country you hail from.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's a very, I mean, that's part of our culture, heritage in Africa. When you mention your name anywhere in Ghana, people trace exactly which, not your home, but which tribe you come from. Agyemang is a very well-known Ashanti name.
Right.
not everybody, sorry to say it, not everybody can grab the name because you must be hailing from some. It's royal, as a matter of fact, and so you can't just pick it up and use it.
To be a descendant or a relative.
Some relative or some distant relative of some kin.
So, as an African American, my name is Adam. So, where would you guess I'm from in the United States? That's a joke.
Yes, I know. In the States, there is nothing, but sometimes in the South.
That is not my name.
Yeah, okay.
I'm from where I came.
Right.
And we were given the names by the slave master.
Yeah.
And it did not matter what part of America. We were relegated to the South and the cotton fields of the Delta.
Yes.
So that's a thing of joy to hear you say that. That is our tradition, huh?
Very much so.
Tribalism and also the location of the country that you emerged from.
Yeah, that I come from.
Amazing.
Yeah, and in many respects, it's my mix. What happens in Japan? Japan is a very cultural country, right? Sometimes you mention of your setting, people can trace you many hundred years, right, down the lane, and so they know that okay, you come from this place, and in many respects, it's just like Japan, where we live, where we call where we call home, because names are meaningful, right? Meaningful, and they have deep cultural connotations, deep cultural meanings, and so you mention your name, where people know where you from.
You have a long history.
Yeah, very long, deep history, long
that
history.
drives that tradition.
Exactly, and names are very not just for the sake of. Names do have meanings, meaningful
beyond identity.
Identity, and they have cultural meanings. There are cultural meanings to them. Then some names like Bonsu. Bonsu is another typical Ashanti name that shows a whale. It's a whale, and it has deep cultural meanings.
Okay.
Yeah, and Agyemang also has very deep cultural meanings.
I have a good friend, my closest Ghanaian friend is Ofusuama.
Yes.
What can you tell me about that name?
Ofusuama, it's kind of in a gray area, middle area.
Not Asante.
It could be Ashanti, but it's not clear cut. There are some names you cannot pinpoint exactly where it comes, because as cultures have grown, evolved, certain names have also lost their kind of identity. So it could be a Ghana, could be an Akan. An Akan is a broad ethnic grouping of 6 groups. Ashanti is one, Ekwapim is one, Kweu is one, Ekwapim is one, and I think a few other places joined from Akan. For sure, I know it's either a Ghana or an Ashanti, a Ghana or an Akan.
What about languages? Different languages?
Yes, we got loads of languages. We got 45, at least 45 different languages. And you drive 20 kilometers across the territory, it has a totally different culture, different language. I'm talking about Ghana, I'm not talking about Africa, I'm talking about Ghana. And Ghana is more or less a drop of nation, of a drop in an ocean in Africa. It's a relatively small country.
So
it's not complicated. It's relatively small country. It's 40-something countries. And hey, certain cultures you know nothing about. Their sense of value, culture, religion is totally different. Food culture, it's like none other. There are certain foods elsewhere that you would struggle to eat because it's totally different. Way of thinking is different. What is of value, sense of value, is very different. So it's incredible. Complex.
I'm jumping around in the interest of time. I want to be compact and get a lot of stuff in and the amount of battery that I have.
Yeah.
So, forgive me if I appear to be
That's
around, but I want to pick your brain on certain things on this subject. Religion. I'm not talking about adopting a European religion or the Roman Christianity religion, things like that. What is the religious picture, or would you call it religion? Would you call it spirituality? How would you describe the Asante? Asante. Is there a particular religion associated with that, or some kind of a faith, or I don't know how you would
describe it?
Okay, thank you for the question. I mean, Shanti doesn't have specific religion.
Okay.
We don't have specific religion. Because the European...
That's very interesting because I have a certain opinion about man-made religion. So
Right.
I'm happy to hear you say
Sure,
that.
we don't really have fixed religion that one
You have
must
a
belong
religion
to.
with nature.
Yeah, with
and
nature.
understanding of what is.
Exactly. I mean, before the Europeans came to Africa, we had our own religion. We had an African traditional religion.
Speak on it, brother.
Yes, and which a lot of people still do practice, right?
All over the world.
Yeah. The foray of the Europeans into Africa changed a lot of things, right? I mean, it came with English name. I'm Jerry. It's my last name. That's not the case, right? Because I'm a typical African, and it doesn't make sense very much why I should be Jerry, right? Yeah. And so they anglicized and Christianized stuff, right? And so majority of Ashantis are Christians, by the way, but there are Muslims.
Okay.
There is free religion, you know, people of all persuasions and faith, and so it's more like it's a secular, not like other part of Africa where if you belong to a tribe, you must necessarily must have some faith.
Yeah.
In
What does
Ghana,
that look like is what I'm really
Yeah.
interested in. Prior to Western religion,
Proud of
Islam,
Western religion.
Christianity, you know.
It wasn't Christianity.
Yeah,
It was totally. It was animist, just like Japan, just like
Christianity
Japan.
was
is
born
there.
in East France, you know, at the
Yes.
Nicene Conference,
Sure,
when the
sure.
Roman Empire let's capitalize on this religion to control our populace and commit war on the world in the name of God.
Right,
In a nutshell, that's what we're.
right. And so
You never did that.
I mean, prior to the advent of Christianity in Africa, in Ghana in particular, they had their own religion. I mean, what the West would prefer to call animism.
Animism is what I was going to use.
Yes, animism.
Yeah,
So I have learned, but
Yeah.
I didn't have deep understanding, so I
Yes,
chose not to.
I'm not exactly an expert in that topic, yeah, but I do know that we have our own religion.
we can
We believe in the omnipotent God. You know,
Okay.
every civilized society believes in the notion of an intelligence design, right?
Creator.
Universal
all
God.
Yes. So we have our own God that we worship and we pray to. We were spiritual in our own respect, and we still are respect. You know, because not everybody is a Christian or a Muslim. You know, and so
Even the African slaves, we carry that through
Exactly.
from Africa, man.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they put us in a Christian box, but you know we
get
have
out.
come out of
You
the
can-
box.
you get out of the box.
and
And so-
we use it as a framework and
Sure.
an efficient tool
Right.
still, you know, our youth and what. But when we get to singing
Right.
and praising the Creator, some other thing emerges. I believe
I get it.
that leads to Mother Africa. The next question.
Yeah.
How long have you been living in Japan and what brought you here?
Okay, I've been in Japan for the past 13 years. I came to Japan once during my postgraduate studies in the Netherlands. I did an internship here. While on the internship, I fell in love in Japan because it's a deeply cultural place, and I love culture. I love people. I like society that values its culture, and actually, I was wowed by Japan's insistence on keeping its cultural identity, right? They didn't give in much like other parts of the world did with the European colonization and what have you. They insulated against adulteration.
It's their pride.
It's
their
a pride.
bloodline.
Yes, and so
They do. It's based on it.
exactly, and so I love the fact that they have their traditions and their culture intact. And so I love place. It's with nature and all that. And so when I went back to the Netherlands, I decided to look for a job in Japan. So before I finished my program, I already had a job in Japan, 2006. And so I didn't hesitate at all. Most of my colleagues were heading to the west, to North America, Canada, what have you, but I chose to come to Japan. And
So your preparation, your program, what? You have a graduate degree?
yes, I do. I do have.
Yeah.
No, I have one MBA and I have one master's, so I have two masters. Yeah, I chose not to do my PhD here in Japan. I'll do it someday, but I'll do it.
And what
disciplines?
The first one was MBA finance. Up in
Finance,
the finance guy.
thing,
Yes,
yeah,
and, my second master's is also in finance, investments, and into finance. Yeah.
What are you going to do with that, my friend?
Man,
You're working in the financial office right now.
probably,
right
yeah.
now.
Right now I'm in financial office, but I'm looking beyond that.
That's
you
true.
know,
You
yeah,
pay
I'm
the
looking
rent,
beyond
right?
building a bridge between Africa and Japan. Right, I've already done a lot of things in that respect.
Which brings a book. Tell me about the book.
Yeah, so that brings about the
Title.
The title of the book is from obscurity to relative obscurity to global significance. It's a story about Japan. It rose from relative obscurity to being a global powerhouse.
Okay.
Global powerhouse.
Now, the obscurity from whose perspective? A Western perspective, would you
From
say?
Western
I'm
perspective,
sure they
by
were
and
not
large,
obscure
yeah.
in Asia.
They were not obscure, but comparatively, proud to the opening of Japan, it looked primitive, right?
Sure.
In the Western perspective, right?
That's what
and
I'm
so
saying.
through the lenses of, in terms of science, technology, and modernity, yeah, because they still did very much. Human sacrifices were still, few that's
Modern Japan, yeah.
yeah,
Post-war.
and so it was still feudalistic society, very much, and I feel a lot of other things that people would Westerners would laugh at, and so and so they became westernized from 1869. It became formalized. Westernization was institutionalized. And so they rolled over and it became totally Western. They joined the game, and so the first Eastern Asian nation that became westernized, and they were able to lead the rest of the Asian bloc.
Not by accident. That's a deliberate thing. If you know the history of the brother, there's a guy who went over to America to represent Japan, to acquire that knowledge and that relationship, and then they took off and running. And the rest of the world saw them from the back as they were leading that race. Became one of the most important industrialized nations on the planet after they figured it out.
Yeah, exactly. And so,
and that is not to say that they ignored or forgot their other traditions.
Right.
Because that, I'm sure your book may touch on this, that part of their financial and economic thing is imbued with their traditional.
Very much so. It's intertwined with their philosophies. I mean, Japan, it's one of the things that makes Japan stand out is the fact that they put their imprint on everything that they copied, right? They copied a lot of things, and they still do, but
and they improved on a lot of things they copied.
They improved, and then they put a touch of originality, Japanese touch, and Japanese imprint to a lot of things they did. And so, to put it mildly, Japan is a complex country, enigmatic in many respects, and to my mind, it deserves much more attention than it has get. Right?
I think so too.
As a journalist, I'm about that business, man, imparting the knowledge and the wisdom of traditional Japan to the modern world every day. As a journalist, telling the stories beyond the news. You do the deep dive, and you can reveal something very ancient and sophisticated.
Exactly. By no stretch of much. I mean, there were many Africans who were here decades. My people I can call my fathers and grandfathers, Africans who were here before I came. But I think the onus lies on me. I mean, that's my interest. I'm about exposing Japan, selling Japan outside. Let Africans know that Japan is more than just Toyota and Nissan, right? It got beautiful culture. It has a rare tenacity of purpose, right? It's really strong country. It goes down, it comes up, it rises, and I'm about demystifying Japan. This whole thing is about demystifying Japan. Let the world know what Japan is about, especially as the Olympics coming, just next year. And people want to know what Japan is all about. What's Japan about? I mean, people ask me, hey, Jerry, what are you doing in Japan? What the hell are you doing in Japan? Why did you find yourself in Japan in the first place? And I'm like, hey, Japan is much more than you know. It's much more than you know. It's a great place to live and all that. And so
they
that's
ask
all
me,
about.
I've been here longer than I've ever lived in the
anywhere,
States,
of course. Just like me.
So,
I mean,
you'll be doing the same thing, I'm sure.
I can bet on that. I can bet on that.
I'm excited about the project. Give me the name of the book again. So
the name of the book is From Relative Obscurity to Global Significance.
Very interesting.
And the lessons it offers to African and developing countries, right? But there's a lot of things to learn from Japan about their sense of time, sense of respect, duty, hard work. They got so many virtues.
Yeah,
you know, things have changed very much from what it was 100 years ago, but by and large, it's still Japan. People are honest, comparatively.
Usually with some things that have foundation that is strong.
Yeah.
The more they change, the more they remain the same.
The same. Exactly. Big brother, you know more than I do.
Yeah,
and so
Just your big brother, man. I'm gonna get a two-shot here.
Sure,
This is my new son here. Brother
Jerry,
Jerry.
that's my name, yes. And that is the Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Mari.
Yeah.
Mariko. He's called Maru-chan in Japan, by the way. He's Malcolm. He's called Maru-chan.
Malcolm, right.
Yeah. It's a pleasure. Great, nice meeting you. 頑張ります。ありがとうございます。
今日楽しかったね、この民宿で、この2日がね。とっても面白い。要はベトナムだから。
まあね。
何年前かな。
もう10年前ですよ。
10年前か。
毎年ここはもう文化になって
パパだから、でも初心者だから、彼に比べてたらね、He's my 先輩。
今の時点は。
急に日本語になっちゃったから、二人で面白いね。
そうですよ。
Two brothers, you know. My senpai from Africa, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You missed the shipment of brothers.
楽しいですので、来年もよろしくお願いします。来てくださいね。
Okay.
来年来てください。
はい。じゃあ皆さんこれで、that's going to do it for this edition of Japan Journal. I'm your host Matt Adams here on the internet's #1 English language online weekly cybercast from Japan. Japan Journal with M.A.L and my special guest, the Tokushu today. Special one guest for this particular edition, Jerry.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Cheers.
All right.
See you again.
I'm going to fade me out now. Fade me.
So what'd you think about that? Interesting young brother, huh? Man, I'm telling you, black folks in the diaspora, baby, it's a different kind of thing going on. We bring something to the party and we leave something behind us. Nation building in a nation, leaving the big footprint, baby. 40 years and running, and all my young brothers coming over here. I recommend y'all to pack a bag, come over here and send for the rest of your stuff, because America's in trouble. But they'll get it right. The people have to get it right. All right, I ain't mad at y'all, but I love Japan. I ain't going nowhere. Pardon my candid response and assessment about life here in Japan. I hope you learned something from this young brother about this civilized nation where I've chosen to make my home here. And my gift to you is to present Japan Journal live streaming on a regular basis so you can hear these stories for yourself. It is an amazing journey, and it's just getting started, because 40 years and counting, it gets greater later. Don't get it twisted. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this edition. Don't forget to Google or keyword search Richie Love, my homeboy, with a new project called New Horizons. We'll be doing him little by little until we get him on here live, and that's going to be coming up very soon. On Japan Journal, the internet's #1 weekly online English cybercast from Japan, Japan Journal with yours truly, Brother M.A.L, from beautiful downtown Kakegawa City in the middle of the Japanese archipelago, in the nation at the edge of the earth. I love y'all unconditionally, whether you like it or not. Holla at your brother. I'm out.
Japan Journal, the internet #1 English language weekly online cybercast from Japan. Japan Journal with M.A.L